Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Dunn, this is Rockin' the Country. I've got a gift request from none other than Jeff Cather. So Jeff, shout out to you, my friend. Jeff's out in Portland, and I hope you're doing well out there on the West Coast. We're all kind of mindful of the LA fires and stuff. You're quite a bit north of that, but still it's sort of, I don't know, we're all paying attention to it. Let's put it that way. But Jeff made a gift to the channel for me to do Ronnie Dunn's song, Cost of Living. Don't know the song, right? Ronnie Dunn of Brooks and Dunn, but they both went solo, and so Ronnie's doing his thing. And Jeff said this: "Hi Don, I would like to make a request for a Ronnie Dunn song. I know this goes against my usual female artist request. In my opinion, this song captures more than a sliver of life. Even though the video is blocked, I would like you to use it so you can see the video. Thanks, Jeff." All right, so thank you for that, Jeff. And I'll do that. I'll watch the video. Vivo videos are pretty much always blocked, and this one is on Vivo. So I'll watch it as Jeff requested, but I'll only post the audio portion of it because that's all that YouTube will allow me to do. But I'll post the link to the video itself so you could go see that one on your own as well. All right, so here's Ronnie Dunn's Cost of Living.
About 3 months ago, they announced they're closing it down. It's been here since 1969, and it's kind of been on shaky grounds the last few years. About 2,000 people going to be out of work.
Yeah.
And this is a small town. It's probably going to have a ripple effect and dry the whole town up. We get to talk to people today. We'll know more about what's going on.
I'm Tony Bryant, and I've worked at this tire plant for 13 years in May, and today is my last day. Cleaned out my locker, throw those steel-toed shoes away.
Everything to know about me is written on this page. The number you can reach me, my social and my age.
Yep.
Yes, I served in the Army. It's where I learned to shoot. 18 months in the desert, pouring sand out of my boots. No, I've never been convicted of a crime.
That's an application.
I could start this job at any time. I got a strong back, steel toes, I rarely call in sick. A good truck, what I don't know, I catch on real quick. I work weekends if I have to, nights and holidays, give you 40 and then some, whatever it takes. $3 and change at the pump.
That's what it is now.
Cost of living's high and going up.
We went to work that day, and there it was. You know, they're closing the plant. Scared. You know, you think about your kids, you know, what are they gonna do? You know, what are we gonna do?
I put Robert down as a reference. He's known me all my life. We attend the same church. He introduced me to my wife. Gave my last job everything before it headed south. Took the shoes off of my children's feet, the food out of their mouths. Yesterday, my folks offered to help, but they're barely getting by themselves. I got a strong back, steel toes, I rarely call in sick. A good truck, what I don't know, I catch on real quick.
This is practically a documentary, you know, like, what's his name? Michael Moore. He did political stuff, but he was the big one on the Flint, Michigan with water and Detroit and all this sort of stuff. And he's a wacky dude in ways, but I mean, there's some good stuff that he's brought attention to. And this is like a documentary right here in a song.
I work weekends if I have to, nights and holidays. give you 40 and then some, whatever it takes. $3 and change at the pump. Cost of living's high.
Oh yeah, the cost of living is high, and where I said it's gonna get higher.
I'm sure 100 others have applied.
Yeah.
Rumor has it you're only taking 5. I got a strong back, steel toes, I'm handy with a wrench. There's nothing I can't drive, nothing I can't fix. I work sun up to sundown, ain't too proud to sweep the floors. Bank has started calling, and the wolves are at my door. $3 and change at the pump. Cost of living's high, going up.
I really don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got 2 boys, and one of them's fixing to go off to college, and it's gonna be a real eye-opener for people once this plant's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those songs that points, life is difficult on planet Earth. The very things that can raise a town up can also bring it down when the commerce changes, and that's just the nature of life on planet Earth. You know, in some ways, I analogize it to like what it's like for animals living, say, on the plains of Africa or wherever they are. There are certain seasons in which there's an abundance of other animals coming through. And, you know, for lions, maybe it's wildebeest or whatever. And, or even anywhere where for birds, you know, sometimes there are more insects, you know, the 17-year cicadas and such. And there's feast and famine, so to speak. But things just don't last forever in that regard. Some things last much longer, but whatever the financial dynamics were for that tire factory, and I think it was Johnson City, but West Tennessee, you know, you just feel for the people because, yeah, that employs everybody. So in one sense, the town's well-being was like all the eggs were in one basket, and you just hope that basket stayed a basket. But when things change, maybe regulations are like, we can't use as much rubber or whatever, or wherever you're selling to, they stop buying your tires. You shut down. Then all of a sudden, houses go up for sale, housing values plummet, nobody could sell their house, the bank takes back the property, all the people are dislocated, or most of them will move somewhere. And you got kids, and you're like, good God, that's when you find out how hard life is on planet Earth. But you can't not but feel for people. And it isn't the product that anybody necessarily did anything wrong. None of the people, the business owners tend to take the hit on things, but they're people too. They started as Joe Schmoes or Jane Schmains and sold, you know, a few tires, and then sold a lot of them, and people everywhere started buying their tires, and they were able to employ a lot of people, and it was a great run. And then something changed on them, and that's hard too. I don't know. Everybody can have their own opinions on things, and we do, but I look at this and just say, when you've got to close a business down that employs 1,900 people and tell them you're all going to be out of a job, that's a brutal thing. A friend of mine worked in the insurance industry, and he was high up the food chain, and a particular insurance company, one that had been quite well known, had a huge disaster happen. And I think it was Hurricane Sandy. And it blew through their cash reserves. And insurance companies are cash rich. But when a devastation happens, like in Los Angeles right now with the fires, there may not be enough money to cover it. That's the nature of business, where it isn't even the product of mismanagement. Sometimes a once in 1,000-year event happens and you happen to be holding the bag for it. And this particular insurance company, they brought my friend in, his name is Gary, they brought him in to disband the company and call the people, the insureds, the people who are insured on the commercial side of things as well as the residential side, that they were only going to be covered for like 10 cents on the dollar because that's all that they had. And in addition to that, he had to let 3,500 people go. And I know as a former business owner that had to fire a few people because they missed a lot or what have you. I still hated firing them. I hated it. Nobody likes firing people unless they were a real asshole or something, or just really bad. One person in particular I fired. I like the guy, but I had to let him go because he only showed up to about half his shifts. And I didn't mind. It wasn't a hard phone call to make for me. But I still, God, before getting on there, I'm like, God, I don't want to have to deliver this news. And the company that went under here, I don't know what their specific deal was. Maybe they were embezzling. I don't know. Maybe not. You never know until you actually get into the details of it, why the company closed. But a whole town is going to go under. And you're like, geez, that happens. And that's the dynamic of life. Sometimes it goes really well and sometimes it goes really poorly. And sometimes it starts out really well and then poorly. And I know as a business owner who had a vibrant business and then it didn't for different reasons, and the reasons you would never expect for it to not do well. It is brutal. And anyway, all right. And of course Ronnie could sing a song, but this was more a movie, documentary type thing. So I don't know if this really happened, if this is truly about a town that the tire factory closed, but I like the way it was presented. So I'm going to rate this based on my experience of the video. It isn't based on, so I don't rate songs based on the amount of joy that I'm presented. I rate them based on what they were going after. Was there a creative effort in it? Were the musicians, the vocalists, the lyrics, was it put together in such a way that I could feel it, understand it, see it, relate to it? All the parts of the creative process weigh in on it. And the number that popped into my head immediately was a 9.3. It just resonated. I understood it. You know, if I was 20 years old, I wouldn't have. But having lived long enough on planet Earth, there's a lot about this that I understand and relate to personally as well as theoretically. So there you go. All right, folks. Courtesy of Jeff Cather. Thanks again, Jeff, my friend. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.